PlayStation fans and owners are absolutely pissed off, so much to a point where they're threatening to boycott PlayStation towards the end of August. And from what I read, the boycott's supposed to take place from the 23rd to the 30th. And during that week, people are not going to turn on their consoles. They're not going to log into the PlayStation Network. They're not going to purchase anything on Sony platforms. And obviously, this is all being done to protest Sony's decision to get rid of physical media in the future, specifically in relation to the PlayStation 6 in 2028. And I'm not exactly sure how much it's going to like affect things. I'm not sure if it's going to change Sony's mind. Um, if anything, I feel like sales is going to take a hit with the PlayStation 5 and with video games going forward. And it makes me wonder what the future looks like for some of Sony's first party IPs because I feel like they're going to get hit the hardest. I'm talking about IPs like The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo. Um, I think they do the Spider-Man games. They have like Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, it makes me wonder like how sales are going to be for those games. In fact, we have the Wolverine game coming out a little bit later this year, so I'm hoping that doesn't really ruin that, ruin things for like that game. But yeah, it's just this decision is something that just came out of nowhere, and I want to guess that the reason why Sony is doing this is because they've taken so many like losses, like the financial losses within Sony has mounted up. And the reason I say that is because they've been involved in multiple lawsuits since I guess since like COVID or post COVID. And they lost like $765 million on Bungie in impairment losses, and they bought that company for like $3.6 billion. And the thing is, I don't know what the end game was or what the goal was for buying out Bungie, but I think at this point Sony is just having buyer's remorse because it seemed like it was just a colossal waste of money and time. And and obviously they've been accused of trying to monopolize the gaming industry and all that stuff. They've been sued by I guess by multiple entities and consumers for violating antitrust laws and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it's been really bad for Sony. And the thing is, like 10 years ago, you wouldn't have expected anything like this from Sony, and it's to a point where it makes me wonder, are we seeing the beginning of the end for PlayStation as a brand? Because PlayStation had been popular for 30 plus years. Everybody remember the PS1 era. It was awesome. PS2 era, awesome. PS3 era was cool. PS4 era was probably like the last decent era in a lot of people's eyes. Don't get me wrong. Technology is going to get better, graphics are going to get better and all that other stuff. But I think that's one of the main issues with gaming nowadays. It's like people focus too much on console specs opposed to gameplay experience. It's like more about monetization and I guess raising the price on games that fall below people's expectations. And and not only that, it's like people have more options nowadays. Like people will turn to like indie games. They'll turn to PC. They'll go to Nintendo. They'll go to Xbox. So for this for Sony to pull something like this is just it seems nonsensical in the eyes of many people. Then you look at the price of their games. On average, it's like $80 for a brand new game. And I was at the store the other day. I went to go look for I guess PlayStation 5 games and I saw a controller for like $200. And I'm just like, that is absolutely insane. You have to pay like double the amount for a controller that you would for a brand new game. And it's just like, I don't know what the hell is going on. And it makes me wonder what the cost of the PlayStation 6 is going to be by the time we get to 2028. What, like, what exactly is going to be different from the PlayStation 5 to the PlayStation 6 other than the fact that it'll be digital download only. There's just so many, things that people have questions about that I don't think we're going to get answers to like until like later on. But right now, I just feel like things aren't really looking good for PlayStation. Um, I'm not exactly sure how this boycott is going to affect um, PlayStation during the holiday season because that's, when Black Friday and Christmas and, all that stuff comes up. And that's when people really start buying games. If anything, people will try to buy as many like physical PlayStation 5 games as they can. And they'll probably hold on to it and scalp it and resell it and all that other stuff. But the thing is, PlayStation is a console that's more for adult gamers, kids and children, they're more with like Nintendo. And Nintendo doesn't have that problem. I mean, you don't have to worry about piracy and emulation so much with children. You would have to worry about that more so with adults. And I think that's kind of been like the main issue that people have had with Nintendo for the most part. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Xbox, other than the fact that the company is trying to do a hard reset, even though like the steps they've taken towards doing that seem counterproductive, laying off like a significant portion of their staff. But I do feel like them focusing more on like profitable IPs and trying to expand their reach and, focusing more on, I guess, gameplay experiences. I think those things are definitely a good step in the right direction, but I'm not exactly sure whether or not it's going to work because I think Xbox supposed to have a new console coming out next year. It's supposed to be getting like it's called Project Helix. It's scheduled to be released sometime next year, unless they say otherwise. But I do feel that it's going to be a make it or break it situation for Xbox next generation console because I feel like the Xbox Series X didn't sell nearly as much as it should have. And I think the last gen Xbox console, which I believe was Xbox One, I think it got outsold by both by the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. So obviously, it's not a good sign for Xbox as a brand. But I don't know, things could change because it seem like people are souring on PlayStation, and Switch 2 is still like new, and we have. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like more major games that's going to come out within the next couple of years or so. But yeah, this blackout I feel like is just the beginning of the end for it might be the beginning of the end for Sony in the future. I'm pretty sure we'll probably have more than just one blackout session for like PlayStation, but yeah, I mean, I don't think Sony is necessarily going to cave or anything. Um, they're probably not going to take any action or reconsider going back on their stance with physical media unless they start seeing their sales numbers decline. And if people start canceling their PlayStation Plus memberships, I do feel that it would definitely get the attention of executives and they'll probably consider doing something different. But yeah, I mean, like, PlayStation and Sony, they they've been really high on customer satisfaction in the past. And it seems like post COVID, the opposite's been true, and there's been nothing but, grievances and tension and just, lawsuits and all that other stuff. I feel like this decade has been like the worst for Sony. It's probably been the worst, like in general, in relation to gaming, because it seems like the gaming industry is going straight to hell. And I don't know. I hope it doesn't get worse by the time we get to 2030, but I'm not holding my breath either.